Charles Collingwood in London, Nelson Benton in Washington, and a sports report with Hayward Hale Broom in New York.
Good evening. Marching behind flags and banners and picket signs demanding peace now, at least 200,000 anti-war protesters jammed the streets of Washington today in what was probably the biggest peace demonstration to be held since they began 6 years ago. As usual, there were conflicting reports over the size of the crowd. Police estimated 200,000, but an organizer of the demonstration claimed 500,000. Despite the huge crowd, no Nixon administration official nor any of the Democratic presidential contenders spoke at the rally or appeared on the Capitol Hill platform. The most prominent elected official to speak was Democratic Senator Hartke of Indiana. Our report on the demonstration begins with Bruce Morgan.
The rally was peaceful as promised and large as its organizers hoped. Nobody really knows how many people filled these Capitol grounds, spilling back down Pennsylvania Avenue. The speakers on this platform have been calling it the largest demonstration in this city's history. And some veteran demonstration watchers edging through the crowd saw other differences. More older people once said it's not all the youth culture. There were people in union hats. The sponsoring group had listed more union officials and more black organizations too, though most of the faces in the crowd were white. The flags flew, American and Viet Cong, and at least 2 kites took advantage of the gusting winds. A lot of people just walked here this spring day, but many did march, more than could fit onto the Capitol grounds. They started from the ellipse at the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue. Bob Schieffer reports. They came in such numbers that the march spilled onto Pennsylvania Avenue an hour ahead of schedule. An organizer said we had to start the march early. There was just no place to put all those people. Like those who have marched up Pennsylvania Avenue before to protest the war, many were young, many were white. Some said they were ex-GIs, a few said they were still GIs on active duty. Their lines, 20 and 30 abreast, stretched from the White House to Capitol Hill for most of the afternoon. A splinter group of several hundred Chicanos, U.S.-born Arabs, some blacks, and a few others, calling themselves the Third World Task Force, joined the main march after a separate demonstration. Together, they marched peacefully to the Capitol, singing and chanting for an end to the war. Bob Schieffer, CBS News. Once here, the crowd heard speeches, of course, from some old familiar faces like Indiana Senator Vance Hartke, and from some new ones like John Kerry, one of the coordinators of this past week's anti-war protest by Vietnam veterans.
What is important is not just that we are here today, because we've been here before, you and I. We've been here before and we've been other places. And what we have to decide is that we're going to keep coming back until this war ends. And we don't come back only on a day like today, but we come back on the day that they vote. And we tell these men that if they don't end the war, then we will alter the basic structure of this country by taking them to task at the polls. And we will not be silent until they do this, and until our children can look at this country with hope for what it will be, and not despair for what it is.
The only way that we can renew our commitment to mankind is to get out now. The president says he cannot even set a date for withdrawal, because in doing so, he would be giving those that he calls the enemy valuable information to use against our remaining troops. Well, Mr. Nixon, we have a plan. We have a plan for you. We have a plan for you to protect our troops. Announce a date for withdrawal. Accept a ceasefire and get them out now.
And they heard music, some new songs with tougher anti-war lyrics than those of years past, and some old songs. John Denver sang one of those.
Last night I had the strangest dream I ever dreamed before. world had all agreed to put an end to war. Sing it again. Last night I had the strangest dream I'd never dreamed before. I dreamed the world had all agreed to put an end to war.
How many men who listen to me tonight have served their nation in other wars? How very many are not here to listen? The war in Vietnam is not like these other wars. Yet, finally, war is always the same. It is young men dying in the fullness of their promise. It is trying to kill a man that you do not even know well enough to hate. Therefore, to know war is to know that there is still madness in this world. Or we have children to teach, and we have sick to be cured, and we have men to be free. There are poor to be lifted up, and there are cities to be built, and there's a world to be helped. Yet, we do what we must. I'm hopeful, and I will try the best I can with everything I've got to end this battle and to return our sons to their desires. Yet, as long as others will challenge America's security and test the dearness of our beliefs with fire and steel, then we must stand or see the promise of 2 centuries crumble.